it's a pleasure to be with you today. You know, just this week I had a call from a friend, and the friend was asking me to talk to them about behavioral interviewing. You know, many times we get called in and people asked us to interview somebody. Just this week my boss brought somebody over and said, hey, would you interview this salesperson for me? Well, you don't have much time to prepare, and you know you really got to get this accomplished, and you want to do the best job. Well, how can you do this and really do that quick? Well, I'm going to give you a couple tips. One, you have to make sure you have the hiring criteria. And you probably think, well, gosh, I can't do that. I'm going to interview the guy right now. Well, I like to think that you can do this strictly with a bar napkin. As reasonable as that. If you pulled out a bar napkin and you were thinking about interviewing this salesperson, just think about the 3 or 4 characteristics that's most important to you. Let's say it's attention to detail. Let's say it's the ability to drive a significant volume of sales. Let's say in excess of $1 million over a quarter. Let's say that it's having good knowledge of the product that you're involved with. Well, if that's the case and you can write those down, doing a good behavioral interview is really easy, because all you have to realize is to create a behavioral question is to say, tell me about a time when you had to sell in excess of $1 million in one quarter. And if that person can respond to that, you just frame that question behaviorally. Again, tell me about a time when. And then, if you want to make sure that the question's legal, all you have to do is say, you know, this job's going to require that you sell in excess of $1 million every quarter. Well, if that's the case, tell me about a time when. Well, that sets you up. You just asked a legal question, you just asked a behavioral question. Now you're wondering, well, how do I know that I'm going to get the right answer or the information I really need? Well, think about in the sky there are stars, and everyone's familiar with a star. And you want to hire a star. Well, when you think of a star, I want you to think of an acronym, S-T-A-R. S, you want to know in that specific situation, when was that situation you had to sell that $1 million? And tell me exactly what was the task and activities that you did to accomplish that. And you really want to have them go in detail. And then most important, tell me about the results that you achieved. Now, if you can do that, and you put those 3 together, tell me about a time when you sold $1 million in a quarter. This job requires that you sell $1 million in a quarter. And then you turn around and you probe it out. Tell me about the situation, task. Tell me about the activity, the result. Now you're going to have a very good behavioral question. You repeat that process for the other areas, and now you have the information you need to very objectively sit down with your boss and say, I interviewed him on these 3 or 4 characteristics. Here's the information I got, and here's how I perceive this person as a candidate within our organization. I hope this was a help to you. Thank you very much. I look forward to visiting with you another time.
Talk to John Bradford by calling area code 254-399-5551 or send an email to john.bradford@profilesmail.com.